What's up, guys? Welcome back to Danny Plays. Today is day 3 of Inktober, and the topic is vessel. Now, let me explain my thinking. A vessel typically can mean a vehicle. A boat is a type of vehicle. Now, boat is the vehicle you think of when you think of a vessel, but a boat can also be called a ship. But a ship can also be applied to a plane, and a plane can also be called an airship. But in sci-fi, an airship is referred to as a starship or a spaceship. So I've stretched it far enough that this sci-fi spaceship kind of thing falls under the category. So, that's pretty great. Now, beyond that, I do actually have an idea here. I wanted to take kind of a aircraft carrier and turn it into a spaceship. And I kind of succeeded by the end. I will admit this is my least favorite of the 3. I still end up liking it in the end, but it is my least favorite of the 3 I did so far. Which is kind of disappointing because I went into this one feeling hyped because yesterday I didn't have an idea for this one, but today it hit me and I was excited to do it. But I kind of went into it also knowing that vehicles are not my strong suit. So, I'm not all that surprised that it's not my favorite to come out of the work. But, hey, I still like it in the end, and that's what matters. And I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys like it in the end, because, yeah, that's kind of the point of posting this, although... Okay, let me try and explain what I'm doing right now, or at least the idea I had for this ship. So the idea is it's got a kind of rectangular base, but at the front it curves in. And I want this thing to be battleship-esque, so it will have a lot of weapons by the end. However, right now what I'm doing is I've added kind of separate fins on the back that I imagine would be used for controlling direction. And I added secondary fins that maybe could go up and down. And I thought about adding 2 thrusters, and it kind of still looks like there are 2 thrusters because I didn't completely erase the fire of the second one, or whatever the thrust would be called. However, the first one I have one central thruster, which is which doesn't look big enough for a ship this size, but maybe 2, maybe it looking like 2 isn't such a bad thing. Right now, what you're seeing is me drawing the first turret design. The turrets went through quite a few incarnations because it took me a while to get them in a way I liked, and the way I did that was by angling them to kind of match the ship's movements. I added a lot of circles, but the circles kind of represent different things. Like the circles on the side of the ship are kind of windows where I later put weapons, while the ones on top are more of just design details. What I'm trying to do right now is I thought just the way it looked was a bit boring, so I wanted to add some kind of wing structure, which even though I just erased it, I do go in and do one later, and I think it looks a bit better. Oh, what you're seeing me doing right now is, since I said I wanted this to be kind of an aircraft combo, I decided to do aircrafts have a runway that bends off to the side so that the planes can take off. So I thought I would add one of those. And then I tried to add the control tower, which are, again, kind of off to the side. And I end up leaving it because it looks cool. Like, the base of it looks cool. But I didn't like, when I tried to give it height, I didn't like how that looked, so I end up erasing that. But I do leave the plate, because I like the way the plate looked. I don't know what it represents. Maybe it's extra armor, or maybe it's still the cockpit, but since we're getting kind of a sideways upper view, you can't really see it. I don't know. It's something. I had a little turret up at the top where there was a square where I wasn't really doing anything with. And now I'm drawing the first plane. Now, when I was drawing this, I had pictured drawing a bigger one closer up, and I do eventually do that. However, I didn't think about the fact that the design I did right there would determine what the bigger one would have to look like. So, the bigger one went through so many changes and took me so long. But I'm getting off track, so I'm gonna try and think of a story for this real quick, and well, you guys won't have any difference in time, but it may be a few minutes before I get back from me. But I'm gonna try and think of a story because since I kind of came up with this idea a bit more on the fly, I don't really have a story. So, or at least any kind of lore. Although the story didn't go great last time because I didn't have it scripted, and I don't have a script this time, so I'm going to give more of a description of what I think the lore would go like in my head. I'm not even actually going to stop, because it just came to me. So, in the last one, I mentioned that the planet that those suits are on is full of monsters. And the way we're going to play this off is that there is some empire, kind of like Star Wars, except for not as bad. Their genuine goal is to protect people, rather than, just rule the universe and be ruled by an evil Sith Lord. So essentially, my idea is that this is a Imperial fighter carrier, and that and it's patrolling around the planet that we mentioned in the last one, as they're trying to set up an outpost there to kind of prepare for ambushes from other factions, and have maybe the planet has valuable resources on it or something. So they're kind of I guess claiming the planet and maybe blockading it. But essentially they're going to have a bunch of these protected by smaller ships, protecting the outer rim of that planet, while the people down in I think I called them the X-11 suits, or the X-11 enhancement suits in the last one. So while the people down there, the pilots of the X-11 enhancement suits, clear out the planet with the monsters enough in order to actually set up a base of operations. And these things are just here to make sure that no one invades the planet they are newly conquering. So that's kind of my idea of the lore, because I do try to make some lore, some semblance of lore. So there you go. That's my take on what this ship does. Now, as you can see, I've added a bunch more turrets. I've added another ship on the main runway. And if you, when you see my hand moving across the paper like that, I have my computer screen open behind it, looking at pictures of aircraft carriers and modern-day jets, as well as some sci-fi jets. Because look, right now, as you can see, I'm trying to draw some sort of fighter type thing, but this went through so many changes because I had no idea how to do this. I mean, I knew it had to resemble the shape I did on the smaller ones, but all the fighters on all the pictures of the sci-fi fighters I were looking at was so detailed and just so strange and strangely shaped that, I should have just gone X-Wing on it. Like, I had no idea what I was doing. So I ended up just forgoing the reference pictures and just kind of doing it based on the shape I did and using similar details I used on the bigger one. Oh, the little diamonds that I'm drawing around it are stars. I should have done more. I ended up only doing 2, but I felt like, hey, it's in space. It needs at least some semblance of a background, so I gave it 2 little stars to represent space. And I can't see it because, once again, there's a recording thing in front of it, but I think I finally got to the design that I'm talking about, where I kind of just gave up on reference pictures and decided, yeah, I'm just going to freehand the shape that I did for the smaller ones. And I end up drawing 2 of them to kind of show that it's like a fleet, maybe going out to protect the ship. Maybe the ship's under attack, like someone else wants the planet, and the ship is sending out its fighters to intercept. I don't know. I watch a lot of Star Wars, so yeah. I'm trying to think of. I'm trying to think of another sci-fi. I don't watch many other sci-fi movies, but I do play some other sci-fi video games. So, I mean, I don't personally play Halo, but I do know a bunch of the Halo lore. And I like the Halo lore, and I like all the Halo ships. So, you know, I guess I could have taken inspiration from those if I'd wanted to. But they have more kind of a helicopter-plane hybrid thing. So that probably would have been pretty difficult. It's called, like, the Pelican. And actually, I don't know if it has rotors. It's been a while since I looked at one. Anyway, that's it. See you guys in the next one.